he just looks class, doesn't he?
Has a lot of time to play his strokes, a lot of time. And that's the sign of a class batsman. Plenty time to play. Lots of time.
He didn't look in any trouble all in the first innings, and he's just looking great again here. It's just a shame no one can stick with him. Here's Siraj bowling to Athanase, and he pulls that one away behind square, out to the boundary for 4. Lovely shot by young Alec Athanase, the Dominican lad. That takes him on to 23. Just looking at this again on the replay, it's a short ball from Siraj, and Athanase just pulls that away, beautifully in control, racing out to the boundary for 4. Really need to comment on that, with the crowd's doing it for us.
Yes. Beautiful stroke from Ali Athanase.
There's Siraj once more, and this time Athanase is defending. Another cheer from the crowd, and that brings us to the end of the over. Then WestIndies 71 for 5. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Well, it's 200 runs behind now, and Group 71 for 5. Still have a deficit of
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Sissons.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Sissons.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression. Bold expression.
Color by Sissons. Sissons. Express your style with Color by Sissons.
Well, that's your boy, Colin. I know you're always excited to see Colin. The speed he goes out there, I know that. And Colin has been doing that for a very long time. And he's no stranger to people around the Caribbean. He's worked with television for a long time. And as Andy Carter joins me, and the crowd, there seems to be an improvement in the crowd. The crowd has gotten bigger, and they're hoping that we would have cricket tomorrow so that then we can see more of Ali Athanase, Jason Holder, Rakim Cornwall, and all the guys to come. WestIndies probably can be batting at lunchtime, something like 220 for 5. We will see a huge crowd in the Windsor Park after lunch tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, thank you very much, Lockhart. In fact, as long as Athanase is there, the crowd is happy. They're not too happy with the performance of the West Indies team so far, but Athanase has batted quite well so far, and the West Indies team losing wickets, 1 for 8. When Chandapur was leg before wicket bull, Jadeja for 7, 2 for 22. When Craig Brathwaite was scored, Rahani bowled Ashwin for 7, 3 for 32. Blackwood leg before wicket bull, Ashwin for 5, 4 for 32. Raymond Ripple leg before wicket bull, Jadeja for 11. And the last man out, De Silva leg before wicket bull, Siraj for 13. 58 for 5 when the last wicket fell. They have now moved on to 71 for 5, as I've been joined by Sir Curtly Ambrose. Sir Curtly Ambrose, once again the West Indies in all sorts of problems.
Well, all sorts of problems is an understatement. It's much more than that. It's really been a tough test match for them up to this point. And when you're being bowled out for 150 inside a day against a quality team like India, you're always going to be up against it. And then with a 272 run lead, then it's really an uphill struggle. Because first, we'll have to wipe off the 272 and then maybe set India a target. And with 71 to 5, that's not even looking possible anymore.
I noted with interest your comments on the pitch. On the first day, a bare pitch, West Indies winning the toss, that was unheard of in your time. West Indies winning the toss on a first day and with a barrage of fast bowlers as we produced, having to go and bat, and on the very first day the wicket starts to spin.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I was so disappointed with the surface, because I can't recall ever seeing spinners introduced in a test match the very first day in the 9th over. I've never seen that in the Caribbean. In ODIs and T20s, yes, spinners will open the bowling, but test match, the 9th over, which tells you that this surface isn't really a good one.
We have a lot of work to do on the preparation of pitches in the Caribbean.
Well, of course, I've been saying that for many years, that the surfaces we're playing on in the region is not good enough. With the exception of St. Lucia and sometimes Antigua, most of the other surfaces are not good enough. We need proper cricket pitches where it's a bit of an even contest between bat and ball, but sadly, the surfaces are really, they've left a lot to be desired.
Yes, and winning a toss, and usually the West Indies would send the side into bat and have them in all sorts of trouble, but the pitch bare of grass, and the West Indies found themselves dismissed for 150. But plays the ball to resume. Ashwin bowls to Holder, Holder comes forward, ball goes at the back of the stumps, the wicketkeeper picks up and there is no run. So 71 for 5, still trailed by 200 runs. Can these two perform somewhat of a miracle and stand back till the end of play? Holder is hitting this one hard and high. It's going down to wideish mid-wicket. They only get 1 run. So Asfanaz again looking quite good. He's on 23, has a lot of time to play his shots. Got a chance when he was on 1, dropped at short leg, but he has to put that behind his back. How the crowd has been for you, Ambrose?
Well, it's a much better crowd in today. Of course, the game started on Wednesday, and Wednesday and Thursday, as we know, are regular working hours. And
Ashwin bowls to Afanaz, he covers up, pushes it to short leg.
so the crowd came in a bit later in the afternoons on Wednesday and Thursday. Today is much better, being a weekend, and we're hoping that this game will go on to Sunday. It's not looking possible.
Ashwin again to Afanaz. Afanaz is sweeping and sweeping well. He's sweeping fine. The ball is going down to fine leg. Will it get there? Yes, it does. Sweeping fine and gets in a boundary.
He's one of the few players in the lineup that enjoys sweeping, and they have done it very, very well. I do like his attitude towards batting. He's very focused. Whenever a scoring opportunity presents itself, he will take it. He's very solid as well in defense. And as a young man making his test debut, he looks like he's been around for a long time.
What's your view of starting a test match in midweek, Wednesday? Before normally you would start on a Friday, you would have Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We get back to that. Again he sweeps, find Zionat cut in the way at short backward square, and there is no run.
I don't know what the reasoning behind it. And you're quite right, back in the day, we used to start on a Friday, so we get the whole Friday, Saturday and Sunday to get a crowd. Nowadays it's different.
Ashwin again to Afanaz, comes forward, misses the ball with the full face of the bat. The over comes to an end. End of over number 35. West Indies 76 for 5. The latest score here at Windsor Park.
Still trailing by 195 runs. That's a long way. I even remember at one point there was a test match that started on a Monday, which was very, very unusual. But times have changed. I don't know all the reasoning behind it, but it's very unusual for this part of in the Caribbean.
Yes, I agree with you, because if you start the game on Friday and you get only 3 days, you will have had the best 3 days, Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Good crowd, good everything, good environment, good atmosphere, and that's what you need. You wouldn't like to play in grounds where there no one witnessing the match, like you did when South Africa played in Barbados. I remember that first test match after the banning of South Africa, And because of the non-inclusion of Anderson Cummins, you and Curtly Ambrose rode the South Africans to bring about a victory. But here is Siraj. Bows to Huda. Huda is working this one neatly off his legs. They run one, and that's all they will be. So 1 to Huda, he moves on to 4. Afanaz is on 27. West Indies batting a second time, 77 for 5.
Yes, that was 1992. That was Sir Richie Richardson's first game as West Indies captain as well. And because Anderson Cummins, who played a few one-day games prior to that game, and the selectors included Kenneth Benjamin, and the Barbados public boycotted the game. And quite frankly, I was disappointed with the Barbados public, because that tells me they're more interested in a player from Barbados than West Indies cricket. So that was disappointing, really.
Here is Siraj, runs away from us now, goes to Afanaz. Afanaz comes across, opens the face of the bat, steers the ball down to backward point. Fieldsman comes off the boundary, and one more to Afanaz. 78 for 5. So the interest of West Indies cricket wasn't there at that time, but yourself and Courtney Walsh really put on a great show. South Africa, they were not missing many runs on the final day, and that was a splendid performance by the both of you.
Yes, they wanted 86, I think it was, with 8 wickets in hand that final day. And Courtney Walsh and I, but those are days when, as a West Indies team, we refuse to go down without a fight. We refuse to lose. We've always believed that whatever total we're defending, we always have this, this confidence that we could defend them. And we did. It was tough. It was a tough game. No crowd, to support you. But we were very focused in winning that game, and we did.
Siraj to Huda, 2 slips go down. Siraj bowls a ball which Huda covers up, and there is no run. But the West Indies, they boasted of so many fast bowlers. There were so many men in the hut. There's Wayne Daniel, Franklin Stevenson, Sylvester Clark, and they could not even come on the 11 because you, Croft, Garner, Michael Houdin, a battery of fast bowlers.
Well, that was a little bit before my time. I wasn't a part of that. I came in a little bit after. When Garner and Holding left the scene and Croft, they were all gone.
Siraj to Huda, comes forward, plays back to the bowler, and there is no run.
When I made my debut for the West Indies, I was 24 years of age. Started playing club cricket in Antigua at age 20. A lot of people thought I started late. But my saying was, I chose my time perfectly.
Who did you copy on to get that immaculate line and length?
There was no one. It was just something natural for me as a young man growing up playing cricket in suites in Antigua. That's the village I'm from. It was very natural for me. But of course, I worked hard to perfect it.
Siraj once again bows to Huda. Huda is getting a rising delivery, tries to pull. Ball goes to the wicket keeper. But you're very stingy. You seem to hit a certain spot, and once you got it there, you were not just not leaving that spot.
Well, I've always kept it very simple. I don't like to complicate things. As Jason Holder went for that pull shot, that's the same way he was dismissed in the first innings, and they got that deep backward square of the boundary as well. But I've always kept things very simple. I don't complicate things. And even when I coach in a very simple way that everyone can understand what I'm saying. And of course, I hate giving away runs. My philosophy was very simple. I have to work extremely hard to take wickets. Batsmen must work twice as hard to score runs. Simple as that.
We'll watch this delivery from Siraj as he runs away from us to go to Huda. Huda is getting one which he allows to go outside the off stump. Siraj seems interested as he falls to the ground. The over comes to an end. The end of overs. West Indies 78 for the loss of 5, batting a second time.
I wonder how close that was to the off stump. Oh, it was close.
But it was making some height, and maybe to the benefit of the batsman, maybe good judgment on this occasion. But in your earlier comments, Curtly, you were saying how your preference wasn't to hit batsmen. Your preference was to get batsmen out. So you did whatever it took to get them out, not necessarily to hit them. It wasn't no joy for you hitting
No,
batsmen.
my plan was never to hurt a batsman. Right? Yes, bouncers are part of cricket, and in the process of bowling bouncers, for me personally, bouncers, one of two things: to unsettle you, or if you fend and you got slip cord or short leg in, you can get a wicket. But my intention was not to hurt a batsman. In the process, sometimes batsmen get hurt. We as West Indians get hurt too. So it's not like we dish it out and we don't get any.
Ashwin bowls to Afanaz. Afanaz is going to drive, has to check his shot, and the ball just goes almost under the bats. The wicketkeeper picks up and there is no run.
But people tend to look at us, West Indians, and say we bowl a lot of bouncers because we got 4 fast balls and all that stuff. But people tend to forget we've got it back too. A lot of it.
Ashwin bowls to Afanaz. Afanaz comes forward and he's taken there at short leg. Pushing hard hands there, Afanaz. And the catch is taken there at short leg. So Afanaz goes for 28. West Indies lose their 6th wicket with the score on 78. Sharp chance there, pushing with hard hands. Let's watch it again on the monitor. Ashwin, and he pushed at it, went quick to the fieldsman there at short leg. He takes the catch, and Jaiswal, the man taking the catch, and Afanaz has to make his way back to the pavilion, out for 28. His 44 balls, 5 fours he struck in that innings. Caught Jaiswal, bowl Ashwin for 28.
He is a disappointed young man, and rightly so. He looked good up to that point. He really played well, mixed a bit of aggression with the good solid defense, and his enterprising innings has come to an end. But he played well, can't fault him. It's a difficult wicket to play on, but he showed maturity in this his first test match. Nothing to be ashamed of. He's got a wonderful first test under his belt, and there's a promising future for him.
Indeed. I think what you
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself, a taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
Gittins Home and Garden Center, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
Through mentorship and guidance, let us provide support to those who may feel lost or tempted by the wrong path. Remember, conflict resolution is key. Instead of resorting to violence, let us learn to communicate effectively, to listen, and to find common ground. Together, we can create a Grenada where our dreams can flourish and our talents can shine. This message was brought to you by the new National Party, your voice in shaping the future of Grenada.
The Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, the credit union of Grenville, takes you where you want to be. Feel secure with the Credit Union of Grenville, taking care of all your financial needs, including savings, loans, mortgages, and sound financial advice. Serving you with branches on Jubilee Street in Grenville, Lucas Street in St. George's, and coming soon, our Grandstand sub-office. Call us on 442-8602 or visit one of our offices. With Grenville Cooperative Credit Union, your financial security is guaranteed.
It's your boy Easy. Come, let's play a mass now. Let's play a mass now. Come, let's play a mass now. Let's play a. When the picture on the road is a display. We going this way. Every fence man come.
Overs rather quickly as the balls batsman comes forward, plays to seal the point, and there is no run. 2 for 23 in his 15th over. Jadeja, left arm from around the wicket.
I will leave this with you. Of all the West Indian fast bowlers who have played, fast bowlers, not all rounders, so Gary's not into this,
Yes.
fast bowlers.
Yes.
I'm number 2 in terms of runs scored in Test match cricket behind the great late Malcolm Marshall. So I wasn't that bad.
Wow. I would like your good friend, he must be listening, Courtney Walsh.
Oh, don't talk about it. Please don't.
I enjoy interviews with you and Courtney Walsh. But thanks for coming secretly. Yes. And the over comes to an end. The end of a stint there by Secretary Ambrose. After 38 overs, the West Indies 80 for the loss of 6 wickets. I've been rejoined by Lockhart Sebastian in laughter there at these utterances of Secretary Ambrose.
But I don't want you to say and hear my prediction to you on Wednesday about the match. Maybe if it is over today, you can say my prediction to you, and don't say it publicly, please.
I don't want to say that you have good mouth. But here is Ashwin. He has 3 for 47 so far. Bowls to Alzari Joseph. Alzari comes correctly forward, plays back to the bowler. West Indies, the fans have been stunned here by the performance this afternoon. Ashwin bowls to Alzari. Alzari allows the ball to strike him on the body, and there is no run. So there's a leg slip. Rahani at slip. There's a shot mid-wicket. Ball, an appeal there from the short leg. Jaiswal. Unat Kat is at squarish cover. Rahani at slip. Leg slip is Virat Kohli. Flies this one. Zari is hitting this one over the top. The ball is going down to the boundary, and in fact it gets into the boundary, going over the top Azari and over the head of Midoff, down to the boundary. The ball races into the boundary. 86 for the loss of 6, and Azari Joseph moves on by 4 to 8 runs.
And as you have said, Andy, Azari Joseph can bat. He's proven before. He's made 2 half centuries in Test cricket, so he can bat, and let's hope he stays there to get a Jason Holder.
It will be Azari once again. 2 more deliveries left in Ashwin's over. Ashwin decides to bowl over the wicket. Batsman is the ball is going past the leg slip. We'll await a signal. Doesn't seem there's any signal, so he must have got a touch. And Virat Kohli, who prides himself in taking these sorts of catches, would maybe feel that he has let one down.
I think it bounced before. I mean, in all fairness to him, I think it bounced before.
So final delivery. Let's watch it. In fact, we're only seeing Kohli. A lot of he's enjoying himself, Virat Kohli. Here is Ashwin. And again, the batsman Azari is hitting, going for an almighty. In fact, Jason Holder going for almighty heave, and the ball peeling off the inside portion of the bat, going to the man at deep mid wicket. He gets 1 run. Holder is on 5. Azari Joseph for 9. After 39 overs, West Indies 88 for the loss of 6. The latest score here at Windsor Park.
Jadeja, I think, is coming back from the southern end, the northern end, sorry. And the spin twins, Jadeja and Ashwin, and they were predicted that they would be bowling a number of overs in the second inning. Both of them, it had been interrupted by Siraj for about 5-6 overs, but both of them, we knew the bulk of the bowling was going to come from these 2 spinners.
We saw Rohit Sharma, the captain, he eased them up just for a short while, brought back Siraj. Siraj got the wicket of the silver, and then he immediately brought back both Jadeja and Ashwin, his strike bowlers.
Yes.
3 to Ashwin, 2 to Jadeja, 1 to Siraj. 89 for the loss of 6. West Indies still trail by 182 runs.
Sorry looking scoreboard, eh?
And really disappointment for the cricket fans here in Dominica. They were expecting much more from the West Indies. As Azari Joseph plays on the onside, gets another run. He moves to 10. Holder comes in to strike to face up to Jadeja. So Jadeja getting through his overs rather quickly. He's into his 16th over. Has 2 for 25 so far. 1 more will be added to that. 2 for 26 as Holder gets a single. He moves on to 7, and the West Indies now 91 for the loss of 6. Rohit Sharma will be very happy. No matter what opposition you play in Test cricket, you would like the double to win your matches, whatever the opposition is.
Well, you play cricket to win, Andy.
All the time, all the time. And
you'd like to play your dominance to win as well.
Of course.
Right.
In 2011, it was MS Dhoni here when the West Indies earned the draw. Kohli was there, Dravid was there. Dravid remained not out in the second innings.
Laxman was there as well.
Laxman, yes, indeed.
VVS Laxman, class player.
Harbachan Singh was also around. A lot of big names. Kohli didn't contribute much.
Was Ishan Sharma there?
Yes, Ishan took 5 wickets in the first innings.
Okay. All right.
Here is Jadeja. Bowls to Azari Joseph. Joseph pushed through outside the off stump. Happy to see it go through to the wicketkeeper. And some of the fans, as they show them on television there, not too happy as Azari works the ball on his legs to the right of mid-on. Ashwin will move across to his right. Will pick up. Alzari Joseph will get another run. He will move on to 11. Holder is on 7 after 40 overs. The West Indies batting a second time, 92 for the loss of 6. After some words from Lockhart Sebastian to continue the commentary and maybe take you to the close of play, Andrew McLean. Andrew McLean to carry the commentary after some words from Lockhart Sebastian.
And you know, we've been very fortunate that we've had 3 solid days of good, lovely weather. Because when we saw Monday night, Andrew, I know you were here on Monday night and Tuesday morning, we were very worried that we were going to have a washout. But the Lord has been good to us, and I know Heston Charles is a guy who prays a lot. He's supposed to be some sort of preacher, Andrew McLean, Heston Charles. I think he's a preacher. So I think he prayed, and we've had some lovely weather for the last 3 days.
We certainly have, and one man who's enjoyed it has been Ravichandran Ashwin, who's begun a new over. Bowling to Jason Holder. It's actually the second delivery he's bowled in this over, and strikes Joseph on the pad, drifting down the leg side, and there's no run. There's Ashwin over the wicket, very close to the stumps, and Joseph tees off out towards mid-wicket. There's a man coming round there, that's Shubman Gill, so it'll just be the 1 run. So I think these batsmen have made their intentions fairly clear. And why not? I mean, you know, they're going to lose, so why not go down swinging the bat? You never know. Sometimes, I remember Tim Southey in his first match for New Zealand. I think it's still his highest test score. He just went out and had a slob and just came off. Here's Ashwin. This time Jason Holder is pushing the ball to point. Unad cuts there. So Jason Holder's taken off the helmet. He's got the cap on. Yeah, let's see what he can do facing Ashwin. He's just defensively forward on this occasion. Yeah, Tim Southey, I think he made 77 when he was 18 against England.
And I think that's his highest score, yeah.
He just went out and had a slog and got 77. So now there's Holder lifting that one over wide mid-on. And it's travelled. Has it gone all the way for 6? Yes, it has. So nice shot there from Holder, damaging Ashwin's figures. And it brings the West Indies to 99 for 7 now. And that's the end of the over, and that is the latest score here at Windsor Park.
And it was a good cricketing stroke, Andrew. It wasn't a slug. It was a well-played hit over wide long and for 6.
Travelled some way too. Finished up on that grass bank in front of the green wall. But yeah, classic batsman shot against an off-break bowler. Lifting them.
This is a man who has made the double century Test cricket. He has 3 Test hundreds. He can bat.
Well, it wasn't that long ago. He was top of the ICC rankings for all-rounders.
Correct.
Right, it's Jadeja now from the river end, bowling a new over. Bowling to Joseph, and he defends into that to second slip where Virat Kohli does the fielding. There's Jadeja again, and that one beats the outside edge of Joseph's bat, taken by Ishan Kishan, and there's no run. Seeing that, it's just a prodigious turn there actually. Turned a long way past his bat. There's Jadeja. So that's flatter and faster. Punched off the back foot by Joseph. He couldn't beat Rohit at short extra cover. And there's no run. It's Jadeja again. This time Joseph's on the back foot, pushing it up to deep mid-off. I get through for a single. Takes Joseph on to 13. On 13, and the West Indies 100 is up. 100 for 6, in fact. 100 for 6. Sorry, I think I called 7 a moment ago, but it's 100 for 6. peel by Ishan Kishan here. Gloved that one after it went past the bat of Jason Holder. Very half-hearted, and West Indies, not in, Indian captain Rohit Sharma not interested in a review. Here's Jadeja to Holder. That's the end of another over. Just the one run off that over from Jadeja. West Indies 100 for 6 off 42 overs at the latest score at Windsor Park.
And we can't stop speaking about the job the umpires have done. I think they've done a very outstanding job in this match. Both Michael Goff and what's the name, the other umpire, they've been very good. Richard Kettleborough, they've been very good, both umpires.
Umpires don't get enough praise sometimes.
Exactly.
It's a very difficult job. They're out there longer than anyone else. You know, none of the players stand out there for as long as they do. And yeah, I think they just don't get the praise they deserve sometimes. Here's Ashwin bowling round the wicket to Joseph. He's defending. There's no run. Ball is delivered from over the wicket by Ashwin, but the same result. It's defended by Joseph. Now he's going back round the wicket. I used to do this quite a lot when I played cricket, just constantly changing sides. I think it confused me more than the batsman. Here is Ashwin. And Joseph here now is lofting that one out to deep mid-wicket. There's a man under it, it's Shubman Gill. He takes the catch. And Joseph's on his way for 13. Well, I have to say, there's a bit of an air of inevitability about that.
Step inside. Immerse yourself in colors that come alive.
Color by Scissors.
Let your imagination run wild. Surround yourself in a world of color.
Color by Scissors.
Endless inspiration. Bold expression.
Color by Scissors. Scissors. Express your style with Color by Scissors.
As he said, he played a terrible shot. Jason Holder has been there batting well. The team is 6 wickets down. You come and play another shot like that. I mean, really, that's what annoys people, really. One players do things like that.
This is slightly off topic, but what will be the discussion around town and around the island tonight?
Well, you know, Andrew, if you listen to people around the West Indies now, a lot of them have given up hope. It appears that plenty of people have given up hope. Some of them say they don't even want to discuss West Indies cricket. But we can't give up. I mean, when we destroyed teams for 16 years, we were beating teams 5-0 at home, 5-0 away. You hear people saying now, West Indies should be moved from cricket. I don't subscribe to that. We beat teams for 16 years. We're struggling now. We have to find a way to get out of what is happening now. But the players themselves must have pride in themselves. It cannot be people just go down meekly without fighting.
I can sense your frustration, which is bordering on anger, Sebo.
Yeah. It annoys you. I mean, you watch that. This is the third day of a match, and you have people playing this kind of, doing this nonsense already.
I mean, he couldn't have found Gill any better than he actually did. Gill basically didn't even have to move to catch that.
Oh,
and he's the only man out on the leg side. Hit it straight down his throat.
I mean, people have come to watch West Indies. Look at the crowd.
Yeah.
Yeah, give them something. Give them something. You don't want to have them in that sort of way. Going home disappointed tonight.
Yeah. Here's Ashwin to the new man, Cornwall.
I'm sure a lot of people would have come tomorrow, want to see West Indies, maybe, as I said earlier, 120 for 2 or something like that at the close of play.
Here's Ashwin to Cornwall. He lets that one go through the keeper, Kishan.
Ooh.
Yeah, I take your point. It's
Crazy.
here is Ashwin. Cornwall is defending. And that is the end of a successful over by Ashwin. He now has 4 for 52. And the West Indies are 100 for 7. And that is the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yes, and you just can't help being annoyed with what's happening. I mean, we saw some people got out today. They tried. Craig Brathwaite got out to a good ball. Shanda Paul. Few of them, but I mean, Afanaz. But I mean, what we just saw there, honestly, no excuse for that. No excuse at all.
Yeah, you're right. In comparison to the first innings where most of the batsmen could blame themselves, I don't think many of the batsmen can blame themselves today. But that shot by Joseph, there's a phrase I want to use, but I won't use it on air. But it's something along the lines of I couldn't give.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
that's what it felt like.
Yeah. Obviously, the field set so to give Jason Holder the single, so that they can bowl at Cornwall.
Interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, they've set everybody.
Three slips, and then everyone else out on the boundary.
Yeah, to bowl at Cornwall, probably to give Jason the single.
And that's exactly what's happened.
Yes.
Yep. Holder just nudges that one out into the offside. They amble through for a single, which I think suits Rakeem quite well, based on what he's still recovering from illness, of course, too. Here's Jadeja to Cornwall. That beats him on the outside edge. It's taken by Ishan Kishan. Is there another cricketer in world cricket whose name rhymes as well as Ishan Kishan? I can't think of anyone.
I like it though.
I've been thinking about it for like the last hour. I just can't think of someone.
There was a spin in the Caribbean they called Inshan Ali years ago. Ball wrist spin, back of the hand, wrist spin, left arm.
Here's Jadeja bowling to Cornwall. And he's defending out into the offside and there's no run. This time Cornwall's back inside his crease. The ball kept a little bit low there from Jadeja. But Cornwall navigated that successfully. And here comes Jadeja again. And Cornwall is prodding forward. The ball turned past the edge of his bat into the gloves of Ishan Kishan. So yes, Jadeja's getting a lot of spin here. Pretty much every ball is spinning. Almost too much actually. Jadeja. It's a fuller length delivery. Cornwall defends. Wow, he's just enormous, isn't he? We've had this conversation on air. It just reminds me of Jonah Lomu in rugby. He's just, well, at least he's better than Jason Holder, so there's not, at least there's someone of the same height. But when he stands next to like, I don't know, Jaiswal or something. Anyway, that's the end of.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest. Bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
Playing against Leeward, I've seen him make runs. He came back.
Right. Here's Ashwin bowling to Cornwall. Turns that into the leg side. It's picked up there by Mohammad Siraj, and there's no run.
In fact, in local 50-over cricket, he's made a lot of runs. In fact, he can bat. He's made runs.
Here is Ashwin, and Cornwall's looking to force that one back up the offside, and it's picked up there by Ravichandran Ashwin, and there's no run. So he's decided to go over the wicket now. So off spinner to off spinner. Ashwin to Cornwall. Cornwall's back, watchfully defending, keeping his eye on the ball, defending it out into the offside. Even though there's no fielders out there, Ishan Kishan got out there quickly, preventing a run. There's Ashwin, and Cornwall goes after that one. He's picked it up, he's hit it behind square, down to the deep fine leg boundary for 4. Made his intentions clear there.
Good stroke. As I said, he came back. I mean, he's shown that for the Leeward Islands. In fact, even for the West Indies, he's made some runs. So he came back. No doubt about it.
There's Ashwin, and this time Cornwall is in two minds, but he manages to defend that without the ball lobbing up in the air. That is the end of another over from Ashwin, his 19th, and it's 106 for 7. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Still, they still trailed by 165 runs, the West Indies. If they are to make India bat again, it's a long way from that, from 165 runs, Andrew. I mean, in fact, West Indies, if Jason and Cornwall were to bat till the end of play, he probably could have some play tomorrow. But we don't know what's going to happen. The crowd have enjoyed, well, I don't know if they've enjoyed themselves. They've come here to enjoy themselves, but I'm not sure, Andrew, if they have enjoyed themselves.
Exactly. But there's 3 overs remaining. There is always the possibility of an extra half hour when there's a match as close to a finish. As Jadeja begins another over to Jason Holder, and that one goes through to the keeper Ishan Kishan, and there's no run.
Well, under the rule, if there's a possibility of victory, you can claim the extra half an hour. In fact, I saw Rohit having a chat with Kettleborough. Maybe that must have been what they were discussing.
Right. Here's Jadeja bowling to Holder. Holder's just defensively forward. There's no run there, so it picked up a point. Yeah, well, I mean, India probably feels fairly confident they can do it. As Holder comes forward, just defends. So you've got Kemar Roach and
Warrican to bat.
Warrican, that's right, Warrican. Still to come. Here is Jadeja, and Holder's playing off the back foot, out to point. No run again, so I think Jason Holder here is trying to ensure they get through these next 3 overs without losing a wicket. I think that seems to be what his priority is right now. There's Jadeja, and Holder's beaten as he comes forward to defend into the gloves of Kishan. It's interesting how there's absolutely no problem with overrates in this match. There's such an issue in the Ashes, and there's absolutely zero. They'll probably finish early, actually. Yeah. They might even finish before 5 o'clock today.
Well, you cannot finish before 5.
Well, I mean, get the 90 in before 5 is what I meant. Here's Holder, and he finds the outside edge. Coley can't stop it, and it's going to run down to the boundary. Is it? No, it's picked up there by Uno Cat, and what possibly might have been 3. Rakim there was going to be a 2. I hope I'm not being too harsh, but realistically, that should have been 3.
Yes, I did.
That is the end of the over. Oh, there might have even been a chance for Coley. Let's have another look at that before we go to the break. Holder edged it. Can't tell from that angle, but I think Coley may have dropped that. Anyway, it's 108 for 7. That's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yes, I saw discussion, so we don't know if they've claimed the extra half an hour. We don't know if they have done that. We might have.
Yeah, it's not. Just check the time. Still 12 minutes to go. So they're going to get the 90 in before 5 easily. I don't know what this discussion between the umpires is about. Jason Holder. Just looking at this last one from Holder, he nicked it, and Coley can't really tell if he was a catch or not. Based on his reaction, it looks like it was a drop chance. I don't think that's going to matter in the overall scheme of things, but yeah, I think that might well have been a chance for Coley. The other thing to point out here for listeners is Ashwin is now on 9 wickets for the match. After taking 5 in the first innings, let's go back to my notes. He's got such an impressive record. He's got seven 10-wicket bags, so this would be an 8th. 33 first 5-wicket bags.
He's had an outstanding career, Andrew, Ashwin. Outstanding career.
Looks like Jason Holder's changing his socks or something here. He's taking his pads off. Really can't tell if that was a chance or not to Coley. He's finding something funny out there though. So there's just a delay here. Jason Holder, I'm not quite sure what happened, but he had one of his pads off. Looked like, I don't know, maybe he had to put a plaster on his foot or something, I'm not sure. Cornwall's got a cap now. Isn't it strange? They come out to bat with a helmet on, then they take it off and put a cap on. Okay, so it's going to be Ashwin from the Botanical Gardens end. This is the 89th over of the day. And Cornwall has just lobbed that up to short leg. Shorten McGill's taken the easiest of catches, and I'm fairly certain now that they will claim the extra half hour. So it is 10 wickets for Ravichandran Ashwin in the match.
How many times has he done that?
8 times.
8 times, exactly.
You're just checking my memory. We just talked about it 1 minute ago.
That's some test. A quiz question. Easy catch to short leg. Ball spun, it bounced, hit the edge, into the pad, caught at short leg. Now it's only 2 more wickets, and the match could be over in 3 days.
That's just too easy, isn't it? I mean,
far too
I
easy.
don't think that even came off the inside edge. I think it came off he just lobbed up off the face of the bat. Yeah, remarkable career by Ravichandran Ashwin.
You know, Andrew, when you think of it as you're not a Caribbean man, but Caribbean people, you sit down and wonder now, what next for West Indies? How do we solve the problem of our cricket. We've been going down, and how lower can we go? It is a problem now in the Caribbean. All heads must come together, because we don't know how you're going to solve that problem in the Caribbean. We can't keep losing like that all the time. We can't qualify for World Cup, whether it be to 20 or 50 over. Test cricket, we're struggling. How do we solve the problem?
Yeah, when you put it like that, it's. I mean, I feel for the people of the Caribbean, you know, and I think what makes it even worse. I mean, you know, I'm old enough to remember not so much the 70s because I was still very young then, but the 80s. You know, one of New Zealand's proudest feats was not losing a series at home in the 1980s. You know, West Indies went unbeaten. You know?
15 years.
I mean,
15 years.
Yeah.
In fact, nobody counted that New Zealand series. It was something else. I mean, so nobody really. It's true it was a defeat, but nobody counts it. But as you said, West Indies dominated the world for about 15 years. And now look at what has happened. In fact, cricket is the only thing really keeps Caribbean people together, you know. But I mean, they've tried all the stuff. You had a federation years ago collapsed when one guy said 1 from 10 leaves not. The federation collapsed, and cricket, and now we're just in a problem.
here is the new man Roach facing Ashwin. He looks to sweep, and I think that struck him in the body. Maybe it hit him in the head. Yeah, so they have to do this concussion thing now.
Well, sometimes I think that's a joke, really. I mean, something like that. It's true, but I mean, it's a spinner bowling, man. Come on, I mean, wasting time.
Yeah.
Spinner bowling. No, it's concussion test. Anytime you get hit on the helmet. But I mean, it's a spinner bowling. Why waste time with that?
The helmet's there to do a job too, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess we can't also detract from the fact it's been another masterful display by Ashwin. 5 for 57 in the second innings so far, to go with his 5 for 60 in the first innings. And yeah, apart from the Joseph, so you're just looking at Cornwall's dismissal there.
But it's poor technique too, you know. When you look at the way some of the batsmen have gotten out, the technique of some of the batsmen.
Yeah, look at this, here we go. Ravichandran Ashwin, 34 5-wicket hauls. Sir Richard Hadley, 36. But look at Murali, 67. Isn't that is insane. Here is Ashwin bowling to Kemar Roach, and there's no run, is he?
Well, Andrew, I never really rated Murali. I didn't think he bowled, honestly. I've never rated him, Murali for him. I don't think he bowled.
Here's Ashwin to Kemar Roach, and he sneaks through his defence, and Roach is bowled. So Ashwin gets his 6th wicket. So it's 6 for 57 now. So even though we're going to get to closing in on the 4 minutes before the schedule.
Gittins Home and Garden Center, your main pillar for agricultural supplies in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations, at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
So yes, Warwican, the last man, making his way out to the wicket now with his Dominica painted across the front of his shirt, or printed across the front of his shirt. I must say the Dominicans have done a really good job of promoting the island in many different ways at this match. really sensible and smart, and that one turned through the gate as Roach came forward and the death rattle followed. Here is Ashwin to Warwicken, and he immediately hoists that one away out through mid-wicket, out to the boundary for 4. So Warwicken's not going to hang around.
And they're going to Trinidad next, and Andrew, we don't know what sort of pitch they'll get down there in Trinidad. The starts on next week Thursday, so we just don't know what kind of pitch we'll get down there. Oh Lord.
Here's Ashwin to Warwicken, and as he times he sweeps, he actually gets a top edge. It goes over the head of Kohli at leg slip, chased by Rahane down to the boundary. He gathers, and they come back for 3. So Jason Holder comes on to strike now. So Warwicken moves to 7 off just the 2 balls.
And Andrew, it really has been great working with you for the past 3 days, as I'm sure most of us, Andy, myself, we've enjoyed working with you. I think you've done an outstanding job. I hope the next few days you have here, you enjoyed it, because you're going to be on holidays tomorrow and Sunday, there's no cricket. So I hope you have a good time, be safe, and until you leave Dominica. And I hope you come back, Andrew. I hope we see you next year. Obviously, Dominica is a place we'll always have cricket, so I hope you come back to Dominica. And it was really nice. It has been very nice working with you.
Yeah, well, thanks very much, Sebo. It's been really enjoyable. I mean, it all happened at the very last minute. Andrew Mason called me on Thursday night. On Saturday, I was on a plane. Sunday afternoon, I arrived in Barbados. Monday afternoon, I arrived here. Had 1 day to settle in, and then we were into a game of cricket. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It's been really brilliant working with you guys too. And compliments to yourself and Andy in particular. Just excellent commentary that you guys have done, and we've also got to be grateful, of course, to be able to work with the guys from TV. They've helped us out a lot too. So I think it's gone well as Jadeja comes in, bowls to Warwicken, who's defensively forward this time. But there's a sense of inevitability about this now. This is actually technically the last over of the day, as Warwicken looks to sweep, and Jadeja appeals as the ball, I think, hit Warwicken probably in the stomach or somewhere like that. But wasn't given out by umpire Michael Goff. Yeah, so technically this is the last over of the day, and just looking at the time, it's 5 o'clock, but they'll claim the extra half hour if they don't get the wicket in this over, no doubt, as Warwicken pushes up to deep mid-off, and it's fielded there by Siraj. I've really enjoyed this commentary position as well, Sebo, with the open window. That makes a massive difference. It's really good. Here's Holder now facing this next one from Jadeja, and once again Ishan Kishan, he loves to chase the ball. He races everywhere to chase the ball, and Holder gets a single. He moves along to 18 now, which makes him the second top scorer of the innings, behind Alex Athanaz. Here's Jadeja to Warwicken, and he's playing that up to mid-off, who's a bit closer this time, Siraj, so there's no time for a single there. Here's Warwicken, he's teeing off, and it's sailing over the head of mid-off, bounces a few times and runs into the boundary for 4. So Warwicken, wow, he's moves on to 12 of 7 balls. And yes, so even though it's technically the stumps time now, it looks like India has claimed the extra half hour. Just for the listeners' benefit, a half hour is in a situation where a match could end. There's a good chance of victory for one side or the other. The captain of the side that thinks his side can win can request they stay out for an extra half an hour. And of course, it's only 5 o'clock here. It doesn't get dark till 7 in Dominica.
And
so
it's lovely weather.
No problem.
Yeah, lovely weather. So
I think
no problem.
I tell you what is also good. I like the fact that Test cricket starts at 10. I don't understand why. I don't see why it can't start at 10 everywhere.
Well, in England they start at 11.
Yeah, New Zealand it's normally like 10:30. I just hate it when bad light stops playing. It really annoys me. Here's Ashwin bowling to Holder. Holder's hit on, struck on the pad. There's a peel. Warrican calls him through for a single. I think that's going to be a leg by. It is. So one more to the total. West Indies now 121 for 9. Oh, that was a good shout.
Yeah. Yeah, very good
That was
shout.
a good shout. Sort of half-hearted. Ashwin obviously doesn't want a 7th wicket.
No, well, under normal conditions, probably they would have taken a review. But I guess they probably feel the match is almost over, so there's no need to take a review. So maybe the Indians don't mind being out there for a few more minutes, because they know they have two days now. They could go on the sea, on the beach, and have fun in the swimming pool and whatever.
Well, I guess that's the decision they're going to have to make, isn't it? The teams. Do we stay in Dominica as planned, or do we go to Trinidad early? Here's Warrican down the ground, heaving that one past mid-on, and it's going to run out to the boundary, and not quite to the boundary. Jadeja chases it down, and Warrican comes back for 2.
And I don't think they could go early. They're on charter plane. They have chartered flights.
Maybe they'll have a little stop somewhere else. I don't know, St. Vincent or Grenada or something. A couple of days on a yacht, perhaps.
Well, they can all afford that anyhow.
I'm sure they can. Here's Jadeja. Oh, sorry, here's Ashwin, and it's a reverse sweep from Warrican. Out to the boundary for 4.
Certainly enjoying himself.
And so is that lady on the screen. Look at this is a beautiful shot. Perfectly executed reverse sweep. So Warrican giving the crowd, it's interesting that no one's left. Give credit to the Dominicans. Warrican this time looks to guide that one, but spins past his bat, and there's no run. So here's Ashwin. 2 balls left in the over. Warrican, and this time Warrican tries a conventional sweep. Doesn't make contact. Ball hit his pad. There's no run. Ashwin, last ball of the over. Warrican reverse sweeping again, and he doesn't connect this time. Oh well. You've got liberties when you're number 11.
Oh, yeah.
Your side's about
You have
to
nothing
lose.
to lose. Just have fun.
Yeah, so it's 128 for 9. That's the latest score at Windsor Park. What's this building up
crowd
here,
there's
Sebo?
an
What's this building here?
There's this the apartment buildings at the back.
Oh, okay.
The to your left, the back of this stand there, apartment buildings were built by the government of the day.
Oh,
Apartment buildings towards the left. Number of people live over there, just towards the left of us. Yeah, people stay over there. And that's the school I went to, the Dominica Grammar School.
Here's
Right over there.
Jadeja bowling to Holder. Plays that one out to deep point. It's picked up by the man out there. Unadkat, and there's 1 run to Holder. So the entertainer is on strike, Warrican. But he just bores us with a defensive shot.
Entertainer, like that.
And he goes for a stumping. He goes for a sweep. He misses the ball. Ishan has the bails off, but I don't think he lifted his foot there. So, Jadeja to Warrican. He's just defending this time. And there's no run. Yeah, he's on 18, Holder's on 19. I wonder if he could top score here, Warrican. I wonder how often a number 11 is top scored in a test match.
It's really nice Googling that.
I think Ashton Agar did. Yeah, here is Warrican sweeping this time, lobbing up in the air, but finding space between the keeper Ishan Kishan and Jaiswal, and there's no run. So that ended up being, well, just one run off that over from Jadeja. He's got 2 for 38. And as we just look at a replay there, the toe end of the bat, Warrican, and it probably saved him in the end. So it is the end of the over. It's 129 for 9, and that's the latest score at Windsor Park.
Yes, Andrew, there have been.
Through mentorship and guidance, let us provide support to those who may feel lost or tempted by the wrong path. Remember, conflict resolution is key. Instead of resorting to violence, let us learn to communicate effectively, to listen, and to find common ground. Together, we can create a Grenada where our dreams can flourish and our talents can shine. This message was brought to you by the New National Party, your voice in shaping the future of Grenada.
Having to bat again. Here's Ashwin, and it's another attempted reverse sweep by Warrican, and he's been given LBW by umpire Kettleborough, but Warrican has challenged that one, so perhaps it's not all over yet. Let's wait and see if Warrican survives. But Ashwin was bowling around the wicket to the right-handed Warrican, and he looked to play the reverse sweep once more. It's a question of where did it pitch. I'm just not convinced that pitched in line, but oh yes it did. Hit him in front of middle, so hit him on the back leg, always a bit of a telltale sign. Possibly it might have hit his glove actually. Maybe that's why he reviewed it. Let's have a look. I just need to. That might have hit his glove.
No glove.
Okay.
No glove at all. And these umpires have been good. They haven't gotten me much wrong. So I'll be very surprised if that's not out.
Pitched in line, hitting the wickets, out, end of match.
Out.
So that brings us to the end of the match. India wins this first test match in Dominica. They've won by an innings and 141 runs. So a very, very disappointing effort by the West Indies, by India in the second innings. Andy is just going to join me, and I think Andy, if you don't mind, maybe you can do the match summary. Or I can get a glass of water. Just waiting for Andy's mic to get fitted. So yes, India wins this match by an innings and 141 runs. And I guess the sad news from a West Indies fan's perspective is that after India declared just after lunch, the West Indies have been bowled out in less than 2 sessions. So very disappointing, but the Dominican crowd have been entertained by some excellent cricket, particularly from India. And Alec